As a friend, you've known Oscar for some years. Your thoughts at the moment?
I mean, he's obviously had a really, really rough week, and I'm happy that he gets the chance to go home and to his family and I think just rest up. I think it's been incredibly traumatic for him.
Now, I don't know if you've been in touch with the family. I'm not sure that you have, but just outline the Oscar Pistorius you know.
Incredibly kind and sweet and mischievous and fun. I've been in so much shock for the last week. I can't describe to you how far removed the person is that I know and that I've grown to love is from this terrible incident. I obviously don't condone in any way what has happened. I mean, a beautiful, intelligent woman is dead. But I also find it very hard to believe that this was a malicious act.
You know, invariably, the focus is going to be on Oscar Pistorius, given his celebrity. But I understand you knew briefly Reva as well. Will you talk about her?
I got to work with her on a couple of occasions when I lived in Johannesburg a few years ago as a model. She wasn't a close friend. However, I have friends who are incredibly close to her. It's been a very difficult situation for me because I know these friends, but then Oscar's a really good friend as well. And it's been really, really tough. It's not easy.
And what do you think the family is going through? I don't know how well you knew the family.
Reva's family?
No, Oscar's.
Oscar's family, they must be going through hell and back, as is Oscar, as is Reva's family. You know what, at the end of the day, there are no winners here. I mean, Reva's family's life has been forever changed. She's gone. Oscar's life is now forever changed, as is his family's. It's just a horrible situation.
Give us a sense, as a South African, what this whole tragic event has meant there to South Africa, the sort of psyche, if you like, the community, the social fabric there, which has been rent by so many other incidents recently of violence, sexual violence, and the like. What is it like to be a South African these days?
Well, I mean, just regarding the Oscar case, the whole country has just been literally at a standstill for the last week and completely engrossed in what's happened. And everybody's been glued to social media and to the television and trying to make sense of what's happened, because Oscar really is a national hero to us. And in a country that comes from such a awful history, sport is the one thing that does unite us. It knows no color, it knows no creed or culture, so it's a huge thing for us. As far as crime's concerned in South Africa, and I'd like to explain this to some of the foreigners that are watching, it's not the safest place in the world. I am extremely patriotic. I love my country. South Africans are awesome, but my own home is like a prison. I have a... Do we still have connection?
Yes, we do. Carry on. I wanted to ask you about that because that was something that Oscar had said himself, that and that he was paranoid about intruders and the like, and that he'd been threatened before. And I know from having been there myself and been to the homes of my colleagues down there at CNN that they live in fortress-like conditions. Carry on your description.
Yeah, I mean, it's... You know, his version of events isn't as far-fetched as what people think it is. I mean, when you're terrified in a situation where you think there's an invader in your home, you don't start going through all the realistic things, check this, do that. You literally go into survival mode. I mean, like I said, my home is honestly like a prison, and I'm not even one of the neurotic ones. I like to live fairly freely. I have a slam lock security door on my bedroom door, which is locked at night. I have an alarm system and beams and panic buttons, and I know to some people that might really sound like overkill, but it really isn't. And to give you an idea, the property that I live on has 5 homes on it, and we've had 4 armed robberies or 4 armed break-ins in the last 9 months. So this is what
yeah. No, carry on. I think it is instructive for a lot of people to get a sense of what life is like there. For people, it's not the whole country, and it's not every town and city in South Africa, but in Johannesburg in particular, the level of crime, it's not just the amount of crime, but it's the violent nature of it, isn't it?
Exactly. And it really just has been on the increase over the last couple of years. I really think the government has lost complete control. As I said before, I'm incredibly patriotic and I love this country, but it just isn't safe anymore. I mean, I got home fairly late last night from an airport run, and I honestly was fearful. I kind of opened open the security gate and look around me and drive in, and you're kind of in this constant it's this constant sort of fear. And it's not great, but that's really how a lot of us live.
And carjackings in South Africa are fairly common too. And is this something that follows you around during the day? This sort of, well, not paranoia, genuine fear.
Yeah, they're more common in Johannesburg. There are not too many carjackings in Cape Town, but pretty common in Johannesburg, and pretty violent as well. Some people usually get shot at, some people get killed for their cars.
Finally, your final thoughts when it comes to Reeva Steenkamp. Again, we don't want to lose sight of the fact that somebody is dead here.
I know. I can't describe to you what it's like knowing two people that were involved in a situation like this. It's mind-blowing. I feel so awfully sad for her. She had a bright future ahead of her. She was on top of the world, and the friends who've told me, close friends of hers who've told me more about her, have just said she was super fun and bubbly, and it's so sad that something like this had to happen. It's really awful. I feel terrible for her family.
Vanessa, I really appreciate your time. Vanessa Haywood there joining us to discuss Oscar Pistorius and Reeva Steenkamp and life in general in South Africa. Thanks so much, Vanessa. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks.